Hi, everyone. I suppose the most important thing to start this recording off is by saying congratulations on your dual admission to the College of Arts and Sciences in Maxwell School and the Newhouse School at Syracuse University. This dual program is a selective program. The best and brightest students who apply to Syracuse are some of those admitted to this program. So the first thing for all of us to do is just give a big congratulations to you on this accomplishment. The purpose of this recording is to key you into some of the information that we will be sharing in a live session with admitted students like yourselves. We know that you weren't able to make that session, so we just wanted to make sure that you get some of the highlights of information from that session. So to introduce ourselves, I'll start off. My name is Rachel Skipper. I'm the Assistant Director of Undergraduate Recruitment for the College of Arts and Sciences in the Maxwell School. And we have one other recruitment person and also two students who I'd like to have introduce themselves now. Wes?
Yeah, so to echo what Rachel said, congratulations on your admissions to the College of Arts and Sciences, Maxwell, and the SI Newhouse School of Public Communication. So it's a wonderful accomplishment. My name is Wes Whiteside. I'm the Associate Director of Recruitment and Diversity at the Newhouse School, and so happy to have you all tune in and listen to us, and hopefully we can see you in some of our information sessions that we have for you as well.
All right, and like I said, we have two current students. So let's go ahead and hear from Deja first. Thanks.
Hi, I am Deja Thompson. I am a senior who's studying public relations and political philosophy.
Hi, I'm Kaylee. I'm a sophomore, double majoring in magazine and English and textual studies.
So throughout the presentation that we're going to be recording today, Deja and Kayla will both give you a little bit more insight to what life is like as a current Syracuse student. That was not the only soundbite that you'll have from current students. But before we get too deep into it, Wes and I would like to just talk through some of the important factors that you should be thinking about as you're going into this program and a little bit about what to expect. And I know some of what's already on your mind will be courses, right? What am I going to be doing? What will I be learning? Am I going to be completely overloaded by arts and sciences or Maxwell and the Newhouse School? And how am I getting this done in 4 years? So Wes and I spent a little bit of time talking about how these programs work together in order to allow that 4-year plan, despite these two different and very robust majors that are going into the 4 years. So something important for you to be thinking about will be these kind of different bubbles we have on the screen for you, where arts and sciences has some coursework that you complete, as does Newhouse, and then some core requirements as well. So Wes, do you want to go into a little bit more detail about that? And then I'll talk a little bit more about arts and science.
Yeah, absolutely. So as a dual student, the first thing to know about the Newhouse School, our Newhouse, our program, we're an accredited communication school. So a part of that accreditation states that 50% of what you take in your overall degree is going to be in liberal arts and with the College of Arts and Sciences. So as you see there's a liberal arts core, which being a singly enrolled Newhouse student is a little bit different from the Arts and Sciences core, which Rachel will actually talk to you about, and the students as well. But as you see that big overlap between Newhouse and Arts and Sciences and half, that's because, as I mentioned to you, within your Newhouse degree, you have to complete 50% of within Arts and Sciences. That's 61 credits of Arts and Sciences. So our thought is, yes, you're a communicator, but what are you going to communicate about? So there are specific areas that you are currently in or you're part of your major, but also other courses that you can take outside of your majors that kind of help you be more of a well-rounded communicator. So that's one of the unique things about the Newhouse School is your overall is 50% arts and sciences, and then your Newhouse majors is actually 42 credits. So you actually take more credits in liberal arts and arts and sciences than you do within your Newhouse major.
Then I'll chat a little bit with you about that arts and sciences core, because as Wes said, it's really important to all arts and sciences students and Newhouse students, but particularly to those who are taking our dual enrollment program. So the big overlapping piece of the bubble between Newhouse and arts and sciences on this slide is really a lot of those core classes. That being the liberal arts core. So this is a term, liberal arts core, you'll hear a lot as a current Syracuse student, so good to get familiar with it now. Those are 3 competencies, I'll call them. So they are not specific classes necessarily, rather they are skills that we want every student who comes out of arts and sciences or Maxwell to have. And you will be a little bit different from other students in which courses you select to gain those skills. So the first skill is a liberal skill with writing, research, language, and communicative skills. So that is going to include some writing intensive courses, no matter who you are. Even our physics or chemistry students have to take writing intensive courses. So no one's getting out of that. We need you to be good communicators. Given that you're interested in a major in public communications, hopefully that's not too big of a hill for many of you to climb. We also want to see you have quantitative skills. So for example, skills with statistics would be very important for someone who's going to communicate with the public on a particular issue, ability to understand different statistics. So maybe you would take a statistics course to cover that quantitative skill. We also have divisional perspectives. And when we say divisional perspectives, we mean the divisions within arts and sciences in Maxwell. Those are the social sciences, the natural sciences, and the humanities. And your arts and sciences or Maxwell major might be in one of those three categories. So we just want to make sure you get a little bit of experience with the other two categories. So again, this is not a ton of coursework. It's just a demonstrated ability to navigate some other fields outside of your one specific major. That's kind of the point of being at a liberal arts school. This is not unique to Syracuse. We want to see our students getting a breadth of knowledge as well as a depth of knowledge in the major. And then lastly, and this is really important to any Syracuse student, is that critical reflection on ethical and social issues. So can you understand what's going on in the community in Syracuse or in your home community? Or when you're seeing these issues on the news, what have you done in college to really understand what's going on socially and ethically speaking in those contexts? So that's another just core competency that we want all students to have. And you will select courses, and this might be the most flexible one in terms of which course you take, because there are so many different topics you might choose to focus on. So you'll be doing all three of these things for the liberal arts core. You'll be completing a Newhouse major, and Wes will talk about that in a little bit more detail. You see the list of Newhouse majors here. You'll also complete an arts and sciences or Maxwell major. And I did not list the arts and sciences or Maxwell majors because the font would be so tiny that none of us would be able to read it. We have quite a few programs in arts and sciences, but again, you know which one is most interesting to you. It's either a humanities major, a social science major, or a natural science major. And I'll have my email address up at the end of the presentation. If you have any questions for me about specific arts and sciences programs, I'm more than happy to chat with you on a separate Zoom or via email. So Wes, do you want to take a stab at the Newhouse majors and the most important things for students to know about those options?
Yeah, absolutely. So what you will see in all of our 8 majors that we have in front of you with the Newhouse School, and as Rachel mentioned, you're going to pair it with your arts and sciences or your Maxwell major. Now, I know some of you might be thinking like, oh, that might be a little bit too overwhelming for me. One thing to note is that the amount of credits that you're going to have between the two, it's doable. It's enough for you to do it within 4 years. And our current students who are on here, they will tell you about that and the flexibility that you have. But in regards to the Newhouse majors, the way our majors are set up is we take a few majors, maybe 1 or 2, and they're actually in a specific area of communication. So for instance, public relations and advertising, they're what we call our persuasive majors, getting you to think a certain way, getting you to feel a certain way, also getting you to buy a product or for you to donate for a specific cause. Then we have our news majors, which is broadcast and digital journalism, and magazine and news and digital journalism. So if you want to be in front of the camera, actually, providing the news in different outlets, whether that's local, national, sports, weather, entertainment, fashion, or you may want to be more on the writing side of things in those specific areas. That would be magazine and news and digital journalism, where broadcast, you'd be in front of the camera. Then we have what we call our entertainment majors. That's television, radio, and film. That's photography. And then there's the Bandier program for recording and entertainment industries. And then you see a major graphic design. You may be saying, oh, where does graphic design fit in all to this? Graphic design is actually associated with all of our majors because our students in graphic design can go and work in any single area, whether it's advertising all the way to television and radio and film. Also, some of you are coming in as undecided or undeclared. That's okay. You actually have until the end of your sophomore year to decide on what your major is going to be. So you do not have to pick your Newhouse major towards the end until the end of your sophomore year. Some of you are coming in with majors and you may arrive and you may say, I want to change my major. That's also fine. We see a lot of our students will change their majors also when they arrive within a Newhouse school. The one major I will say, as you see the asterisk is next to it, is the Band-Deer program. The Band-Deer program is an endowed program. So that means that it only has a specific number of seats. So we don't allow students to change into the Band-Deer program because of the amount of seats that we have. So that's why you will see the asterisk next to the Band-Deer program. But all of our other majors, you definitely have the opportunity, like I said, to change your major if you feel like it.
All right, so the next, I think, important topic for us to cover today is maybe not the first thing that comes to your mind as a high school student, but I already see Deja nodding. This is important to college students. Who supports me? Who do I go to when I have questions? Who's going to help me make these difficult decisions? Kaylee is going to talk about in a little bit how she switched into a dual program with arts and sciences in Newhouse. She didn't apply that way. We have many students who say, oh my gosh, I came into arts and sciences thinking I want to do international relations, and man, that's miserable for me now. What other program might be a better fit, right? You just don't necessarily know that well what you're interested in until you're a college student and you're spending all of your time talking about this thing. So changing your mind, like Wes mentioned, or picking up a major later, figuring out what you want to do is something we expect to happen, right? So you should anticipate navigating a little bit as a college student through what these different interests are to you, and you should expect some interests to surface that you didn't have as a high school student. And so it's really important for you to know that when that happens, as we expect it will, who is going to be helping you through those decisions, through the process, making sure you graduate on time, helping you know what options there even are to match this thing that you know you're interested in now. So luckily for you, you're going to have a ton of support, an overwhelming amount of support, because you have the arts and sciences team and the Newhouse team who normally would serve each of their students, and you get, resources from both. So in terms of academic advising, and I'm just going to speak for the arts and sciences side, and then I'll let Wes go through his list for the Newhouse side. With academic advising, you'll have an academic advisor in arts and sciences. So that means someone who works with students in your area of our 3 divisions. So again, those are the natural sciences. Students have a natural sciences advisor, humanities have humanities, social sciences have social sciences. So you'll have an advisor that zooms in on the thing you're interested in. If you're undecided in arts and sciences, you'll have an undecided advisor. And then when you decide, you'll get an advisor from that division. We also have career advising that for arts and sciences, and Wes will tell you how Newhouse is different, but for arts and sciences, your career advisor is your academic advisor. So they will both be giving you advice about the courses you're taking and the majors you're interested in and your career options following from that. You also have a faculty advisor who is a professor in the major you elect. So that's someone who would be more interested in talking to you about the nuances of that field, right? So if you are one of these international relations students, for example, and you're really interested in this specific issue in the Middle East and you want to know where can I go to learn more about that, or what kind of research opportunities are available to you, that's kind of what the faculty advisor is for, really detailed information about your field. And then lastly, a peer advisor, right? All of your advisors shouldn't be people twice your age with tons of experience. It's also nice to have peers who know what they're doing. They've navigated the Syracuse system. It's a lot easier to ask them, right? What dorm might I want? What dining hall would be the best one for me? Did you take this class? Did you enjoy it? Like those kinds of questions. It's really valuable to have a peer there to give their input as well. So arts and sciences also provides you a peer mentor who links up with you before you ever come to campus and really helps you the most during that first year at Syracuse, but certainly would be available for you to touch base with after that. So let's hear from Wes as well, and he can tell you how Newhouse kind of doubles up on all of these offerings for the dual enrolled students.
Thanks, Rachel. So starting up at the top, so just like arts and sciences at Maxwell and Newhouse, we do offer academic advisors, where we do ours based off of last name, not by major like arts and sciences does, because arts and sciences has more majors than Newhouse has. So your academic advisor is basically going to work with you from your freshman year all the way to your senior year to make sure that you are completing your Newhouse degree. So they are going to make sure that you're taking those 61 credits of arts and sciences. Now, arts and science is going to be paying attention to those liberal arts courses and those core requirements, where Newhouse, we're going to concentrate on your major and, like I said, those arts and sciences credits specifically. But they can also do things with work with you of, are you interested in going abroad? And they'll talk to you about that, how you can set up your schedule for you to be able to go abroad. Or if you want to do 2 of our domestic programs that we have with Newhouse, the New York City program and the LA, Los Angeles program, they will work with you as well to set up your schedule, like I said, as early as your freshman year. Their job is to make sure that you graduate. So they will be a partner with you. And then we do have our own career development center where arts and sciences, your advisor is also your career advisors, where Newhouse, we have what's called the Career Development Center, where it's an area that you can go, once again, as early as your freshman year, to talk to someone in regards to, hey, I really want to have this internship, or I don't even know where I can find a job after I graduate. Where should I start? Or senior year, I'm starting to look for a job. I've got an interview. Can I do a mock interview? Absolutely. Whether it's Zoom or it's in person, we will work with you, like I said, from start to finish. And then just like also arts and sciences, Maxwell, you'll get a faculty advisor. Your faculty advisor will be based off of a professor that you're going to have, which is our first Newhouse class, which is called COM 100. It's kind of like a freshman seminar class. So these professors are, they are professors within Newhouse from different majors, but they're kind of there for you for your freshman year to talk to you about what it is to be a first year student. What is academic advising? What is career services? What do I do if I get a bad grade on my first exam? Like, how do I talk to a professor? How do I send an email? And then from there, when you get to your sophomore year, because that's when we want our students to decide on what their majors are, that's where you'll find a faculty advisor directly into your major that you'll work with. Some of you may find that person your freshman year and you want to ask that person to be your advisor. That's totally fine. But I said, so much specifically in your area of your study within your major. And then lastly, we do offer peer advisors who are current students in Newhouse. You'll actually get to meet them over the summer. They'll be in touch with you, introduce themselves to you. Some of them are singly enrolled and some of them are duals. It's great we try to put our dual students together because they share the same interests as you as far as being a dual student, especially with the College of Arts and Sciences. And they can help answer that question of, is this dual degree right for me? Or what classes did you take your freshman year or your sophomore year? Or what are you doing now to prepare for your dual major after you graduate? So all of these things are here for you. And like Rachel said, you're going to get, double the fun because you're going to get them on both sides. And that means you just have more people that you can connect with on a personal level.
So all of this coursework and the liberal arts core and the career advising and the peer advising is done for a reason, right? It's to support you in being successful in these 4 years and help you harness all of the resources that Syracuse has to offer, not just what we've talked about during this session. There's not enough time during this session for us to go through with you every single thing you could possibly do at Syracuse. And the point of this advising is to make you feel strong and confident in making these choices, and hopefully creating an experience for yourself that's similar to what Kaylee or Deja has been through thus far on our campus. So at this point, we'd kind of like to switch over to hearing from our current students, which I know is an exciting point for the student audience, much more exciting than hearing what Wes and I have to say. So let's start with Deja. And Deja, could you just tell our students a little bit about, why you chose to attend Syracuse, your time in the dual program, how you're involved on campus? And maybe also a little bit of what you think you might do next.
So like I said at the beginning, I am a dual major in public relations and political philosophy. So when I was looking for schools my senior year in high school, I thought that I was going to be the next great Olivia Pope. I have since decided that that's not what I want to do. But I decided that I, wanted to go into political philosophy, not political science, because I honestly was just lazy and didn't want to have to read constitutional law every day. And political philosophy has been an extreme help to my work as a public relations professional because there's so much ethics, so much critical thinking, so much theory that goes into it that it just complements everything that I do in my public relations major. So that's why I kept it, even though my I guess goals and career aspirations have changed over the past few years. And I decided to come to Syracuse, one, because it was one of the only schools in the nation that had a political philosophy program. And I absolutely positively was not taking a political science class at all. And I did not want to major in that. And then another reason, one of the biggest reasons that I chose Syracuse was because of the fact that it was the place that felt like home. And when I say home, I mean, you have a lot of support, like Rachel was just saying and Wes was saying. You have 6, 7, almost 8 advisors who are all there to kind of help you and guide you along your journey. And even though your peer advisors graduate at some point, probably before you do, you still keep a really close connection with them, which was something that was really important to me. And I was actually paired with a peer mentor who was from my hometown, Cleveland, Ohio. And there aren't that many people from Cleveland who go to Syracuse. So that was a really big deal for me to have her to be kind of a guide for my freshman year and even my sophomore year of college. So kind of finding my place on campus, having a voice on campus was also something that was super important to me. And I am a very loud, exuberant person. So it was really nice to feel and see other students who felt like they could be comfortable in their own skin on campus, because college, wherever you go, is going to be your home for the next 4 years. And you want that place to be as comfortable as possible, because you can't just go home every single weekend. And I personally am a very family oriented person. So I needed a place where I could feel comfortable. And Rachel, to your last point, post graduation, I will be working at a firm in Cleveland, Ohio called Dixon Eaton as an assistant account executive. So I will be pursuing public relations things after graduation.
Awesome. Thank you, Deja. It's always good to hear from current students who are really taking advantage of everything that we have to offer. And in Deja's case, already have a job lined up. That's what we want to see, right? That's the point of all of this stuff we've been telling you about. And that's why we hope you take advantage of it like Deja has. So Kaylee, why don't you go ahead and share a little bit about your perspective, because every Syracuse student is different, especially in the dual programs. There's so much variability.
Yeah, so I guess I decided initially to come to Syracuse because they have a great English program. And I knew that I wanted to be an English major, but I also knew that I didn't want to be a teacher. And a lot of the schools I was looking at, if you're majoring in English, it's really setting you up to become a teacher. And I knew that that was not really the path for me. And then I have to echo what Deja said, that when I came to visit Syracuse, I really just fell in love with the campus. And when I was walking through the quad or all of those places, I could actually see myself living there and like learning how to be myself almost over the next 4 years. So I decided to come to Syracuse as an English major in the College of Arts and Sciences. And at the end of my freshman year, I decided to add on a minor in public communications at Newhouse. So I took 2 classes with that minor. And last semester, the first semester of my sophomore year, I took Mag 205, which is just an introduction to magazine. And I really fell in love with that class. And I realized there is no way that a minor in public communications is going to be enough for me. So I applied and I declared a major at Newhouse in magazine journalism. Some of the things I've been involved with on campus that have been really great is the Daily Orange, the student-run newspaper, which has been really great in helping me along the way solidify and know that I want to do journalism, because I started out, I remember the first day of freshman orientation getting on campus, I emailed the Daily Orange, like, can I come in and talk to you? And they actually like let me come in that day. So that was funny. But so I started writing for the Daily Orange like from the beginning. And so that definitely helped me realize that I wanted to pursue journalism. especially as someone who wasn't taking Newhouse classes and didn't really have that experience. And I'm also involved with Jerk Magazine, which is a student-run magazine on campus as well. And I guess next steps, I'm only a sophomore, so I do have an internship this summer that Syracuse helped me to get through the Orange Abroad programs. It's an internship at the Pan-European newspaper in Brussels. So if everything goes right this summer and COVID doesn't play a part, then I'll be in Brussels over the summer. Worst case scenario, the newspaper said that they'll let me do it virtually, so that's good. But yeah, so I will echo the congratulations that you guys got your acceptances.
So it's important for, I think, the student audience to know, Deja just talked about a job, but Kaylee talked about an internship. And a lot of times we see our students moving from internships to jobs. A lot of times that's not necessarily the job that they take, but it certainly often is one of the job offers they have when they graduate. And we also know that from our first slide, Kaylee's dream job is to work in European publishing or European communication. So fingers crossed that that will be the case for Kaylee as well. So obviously Kaylee and Deja are not the only two examples of what students do with dual enrolled degrees. There are students from very different majors in arts and sciences who have totally different focuses. There are students with different majors in Newhouse that have different goals as well, and students with all different combinations of those options. So just a quick summary of two more students, just again to pack in a little bit more of that career type conversation, which I know is really important to many of you and certainly to any families in the room. We have two students here who recently graduated, Amanda in 2018 and Yenna in 2019, where we have combinations of broadcast digital journalism and CCE, citizenship and civic engagement. CCE is a program in arts and sciences that really focuses on advocacy, teaching you how to be an advocate and a community representative for X issue, right? Different for every student, but it's really focuses on advocacy and how you can interact with those communities. And she's working in digital media in Houston for their football team. So that's kind of a unique community that she's working with. And again, got a really powerful position, likely because of that strength of that Newhouse degree that came into her dual program. Then I got another example, public relations and psychology, where we want to know a little bit about how people think, how people might make decisions. That's a big reason why people choose to pursue psychology alongside a Newhouse degree, where Yenna is working as an account executive for Joel Frank. So again, just a couple of different and totally different from what Deja and Kaylee want to do. These alumni are doing very different things from one another. But just again, to show the diverse paths that students do take following graduation from the dual enrollment program. Wes, do you have anything you would like to add onto the career side of things?
No, I think you and the students answered everything, but kind of to echo, you can find a job in pretty much anywhere that you have skills for. And that's one of the things that Newhouse and Maxwell are going to teach you. They're going to teach you skills and also how to promote yourself as well.
So with this, we just want to wrap up this presentation. We appreciate you hanging with us through a relatively long video to watch online. We hope that this presentation, though brief, did share with you some important topics about the dual enrollment program and the current student perspective, which again, we think is so important. We do anticipate that there may have been questions on your mind that we did not answer in this recording, totally fine, or that this recording sparked some further questions, right? Like for Kaylee, oh, you say you have this internship now. What are you gonna do when you get there, right? Or, Deja, how did you get to know your peer mentor, right? So there are things that we talked about during this session that maybe had never crossed your mind. And so maybe you have even more questions now than you did at the beginning, which is a great thing. So on the screen, we have our contact information. My email address for those of you who can't see the screen is raskippe@syr.edu. And we also have Wes here, wk. whites@syr.edu, so that you can reach out to us via email if you have questions. I'm sure Deja or Kaylee would also be happy to answer any questions you have. You can just email Wes or I, and we can put you in touch with the current student. So again, we thank you for joining us today. Thank you for your attention during this video. We hope there are some questions and some follow-up that you'd like to go over with us, and that you'll be in touch if that's the case. So again, thank you and see you next time.